I've done it. I've got to book for a Middlemarch, and as always, I said, Kieran, don't bulk read. Take your time. I thought I'd spice cabinet, spices up. We're gonna do a little coffee tutorial at the same time. So we're gonna go through making a delicious cup of coffee. So the first thing you want to do is get your coffee beans, and we've got loads of coffee beans here, but we're just gonna get rid of those because they're caffeinated and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. So we're gonna have a delicious decaf blend. How fun. Now if you have instant coffee, that's fine, no one's judging you. So what happened in book 3? Fred, look, Fred, come here. Look, we know you got an issue with money. I'm bored of it now. So he's still trying to pay off this damn debt, and Featherstone's money that he gave him in book 2 hasn't cut the mustard. So he buys a horse. He buys a horse and he wants to make money from it, but the horse is vicious, and it gets in an accident, so it becomes like lame. So he doesn't really make much money on it. He basically loses. I can't remember exactly how, but Bainbridge turns up. They're talking about horses, and Fred goes, "Oh, I'm glad you said this horse is like a really good horse." And Bainbridge like really outrightly goes, "Well, I lied to your face." And Fred's like, "Why? Why would you do that?" He's basically trying to figure out how to pay this debt off. He ends up going to the Grants, because he's trying to like swan into Mary Grant's pocket, really, than anything else. So he goes, "Oh, I'm really sorry to tell you this, but it's a lot of money. I owe quite a bit of money." And she's like, "Oh, you're an idiot." And then he's like, "Well, if you knew how bad I felt in this situation, because I'm really hurt by my own debts." And she's like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." Yeah, so she's only got like 24 quid saving, and that is the most relatable thing that's ever happened in Middlemarch, is comparing my bank balance. And apparently 24 quid's quite a bit. So, win. Let's get the coffee. So we got this lovely Hario burr grinder. It's all lovely. You put your coffee in here, but this is where the important magic happens. I don't know if you can see that. You can't. Right. So basically, you just want to put 15 grams of coffee in, and if you go over, that's fine. We all make mistakes, and I can't do this one-handed, so this will be back there. Boy, 15.1. 14.7. Oh. I don't know, 14.9. Are they just gonna grind away? So the Grants aren't happy with Fred. I was just a bit like, "Oh, you know what? I just wish he died. Just wish he died. Like, I'm kind of done with him." And then, holy Moses, split the Red Sea. He gets typhoid, and I was like, you know what? I'm glad. And then Dorothea came back into it, but we're gonna grind some coffee before we get into that one. And that sign is now that the coffee has been ground. Look at that, delicious. Oh, that's cheeky, that and a half. Boil the kettle. You might think this is boring, but this kettle was the Russell Hobbs 60th anniversary kettle. So the handle is a 6. Fun. So while that's boiling, I've realised you're probably going to be able to hear. I'll just have to wait for the kettle to boil. I'm way too close to the steam. Our 60th anniversary kettle is brewed. So we're going to come to this little cafetiere. So we're going to put the coffee in. So you got your 15 grams of coffee. This is just enough for one person. So all you gotta do is just double it for 2, and if you want 4, double it again. Fun math. So we got our 0, and you're gonna just put 250 of water in. 272.4. You know what? It's close enough, and I'll take it. And then you just let it sit. Just don't touch it. For like 3 minutes. So that's gonna go off at some point. It's gonna be great. So where were we? Dorothea, she comes back. She's back from Rome. She's got a suntan. She's loving life. She's like, this is great. And then the aunt's there, and she's like, oh, my marriage was awful. Dorothea's like, God, I haven't even unpacked, and we're already talking about this. She's like, it's not the greatest, but it doesn't matter because in the post, Will the lad's back. He's kind of slipping into the Royal Mail. I don't know if they had Royal Mail back then, but they didn't have DMs. I feel as though the Royal Mail was earlier than that. Casaubon hears about the letter, and he's like, I don't want him coming. So Dorothea goes, I don't want to displease you, and I get no pleasure out of displeasing you. And then Casaubon's like, oh, strong-minded woman. It's not even the 20th century. We can't be having that. So much so that he has a heart attack, and Dorothea's like, come on, die, come on, die. It's not explicit. I feel as though that's what's happening. So, Lydgate strolls in with his bag, knocks on the door and goes, oh, heard your husband's dead. And she's like, well, she's like, who called you? Don't even have telephones. And he's like, just know these things. So he's like, oh yeah, heart attack. And Dorothy's like, oh, was that, did I cause that? He's like, nah, he's just old. But don't worry, he'll live another 15 years if you heed my advice. And Dorothy is like, oh, mate, that's a long time, 15 years. Oh, I don't know what to do now. Anyway, Celia, this comes into assistance. She's like, Papa, I'm engaged to Sir James, and he's helping me with cottages. And I'm like, Sir James, oh, what are you doing? Sir James, so he's happy now. He hasn't got his mum involved. Oh, but who does have their mum involved is, what's his name? Ned Pimgate? Oh, let's stop this. Timer's gone off. My oven, I just pressed that, but yours might be different, so consult the manual. Always consult to use the manual. Let's keep it safe. Now we need a spoon. And we're just gonna give her a stir, but not too vigorous. Not too fast. Just let it do its thing. So I like to put the spoon on top of this instant coffee. But you could put your spoon somewhere else. But we're gonna put this on for 4 minutes. I've done 5. I'm gonna let myself go with this one. So Ned's mum rushes down to the Vinceys and goes, Rosamund is secretly engaged to the doctor. And the mum goes, this is a joke. So she rushes and she says to her husband, Rosalind's secretly engaged to the doctor. And Mr. Vincy's like, oh, Jesus, I've just come through the door. But he runs and he's like, Rosamund, you're secretly engaged to the doctor. And she goes, well, I'm not. And he goes, oh, I'll let everyone know. So he goes home. So Lydgate, the doctor, he's walking down. And Rosalind sees him and she goes, and then throws a chain on the floor, and he's like, oh, let me get that chain for you. And she's like, I dropped my chain. So Lydgate kisses the 2 tears from her eyes. I see one's here, and the other one, I don't think it's just down her nose. That'd be quite romantic, wouldn't it? That'd be nice. So anyway, Lydgate like rushes now. He's like, Dr. Vinci's like, oh, I'm not ill. And he's like, oh, no, I want to ask, can I publicly engage with Rosamund? Vinci's like, I've just come in, she told me you weren't. Like, he's like, well, I'd like to. Yeah, and then what happened then? Oh, Featherstone, he's in a bad shape, isn't he? So he's like on his deathbed, and he's like, all the family there going, oh, he's gonna die, I'm gonna have all his estate. Because remember, he has money, because he gave Fred like 100 quid just because. He's like, oh, Fred, go wild. So everyone's like, oh, maybe he'll get the estate. But Mary goes in, and Featherstone's like lying on the floor. Oh, go on, let's do it. He's lying on the floor, he's not on the floor, he's in bed. He's in bed, and he's like, go and get the will. The will is in the cupboard. It's a lion gate. Yeah, he's laying on the floor, and he's like, the will is in this safe. And here's some bribe money if you want some there. And Mary's like, nah, I'm laying on the floor, mate. I don't want to do that. I don't want to take your bribe money, mate. Which doesn't really make sense, because surely Mary wants to know who gets the money, because that would kind of sort out her family, and it would sort out Fred's financial issues. So none of that makes sense. And yeah, and he's like, take the bribe money and burn. There's 2 wills. And she's like, oh, 2 wills. I've already got my head wrapped around Will Ladislav. We don't need any more wills. Whee! And yeah, so there's 2 wills, and she won't get rid of them. And then, dun 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 dun, dead. He's back on the floor. He's like, I'm dead. Hi, how's it going? So yeah, that's kind of where we are at the moment. So yeah, a bit of a fun one. This, I gotta get super comfy now. Each book doesn't feel like a slog anymore. I'm still struggling with it, and I very much feel as though I'm like out of my depth at times. But I feel like now, because we've had this like pivotal like cliffhanger, I feel as though everything's going to like really kick off. So maybe it's taken Eliot like 350 pages just to kind of give us a background on the characters and to know like how their relationships are between each other, because I'm not entirely sure about the Grants and the Vincies. And oh, coffee time, move on people. Again, check your user manual, yours might be different. So you want to put this little thing on here, but you don't want to press down. You just want to keep it, yeah. That could be dangerous. Just on the coffee line. I'm just going to keep any like sediment going. So we'll get my little crazy cat lady mug, because Pud here, she hasn't got ears because she was sunburned, but we rescued her and we moisturised them, and now she's beautiful. So yeah, you're just gonna pour your coffee now. Let's give her a taste. You know that moment where you like wake up and you're like, feels like a Tuesday today, but it's actually like Thursday? Oh, that's what that feels like. Like comfortable, reliable. It doesn't happen often. You never experience it all the time, but when it does, you're like, oh, that's a weight off my mind. So that was book 3. How fun! I'm gonna finish on the floor. Doing these videos has made me realise like I actually know like a little bit more than I probably let on. Because as soon as you like finish it, I'm always like, what's that all about? But yeah, I feel as though I'm kind of getting to grips with everyone. Hope Will dies. Dorothea, sad, because Casaubon refuses to die. And, oh, James is engaged, everyone. Can we just... a round of applause for going for the sister. Well done you, mister. You've done well. Done well there. Celia's, she's a nice girl. She's a nice girl. You know she comes from a good family. You'll do well there. Well done. And yeah, Will Ladislav's probably just gonna rock up and be like, buongiorno, I'm in England. Who wants to be painted? This has been book 3 of Middlemarch. And remember, if you're struggling to parallel park in a car, drive to somewhere that you could just reverse in, because it's always easier. Bye!